Well, here we go again. It's the Sunday bunch back again. And if you want a beautiful Sunday roast, get yourself down and see George and the team at the Hastings Hill pub. Absolutely beautiful. We've had one each today. Well, us three have, anyway, because we're the greedy ones.
Well, I'm having one later, so I'll have had it by the time you're watching this, so yeah.
Absolutely worth it. Absolutely beautiful. It's jam-packed out there. They're doing really good business at this moment in time. And I want to say a big thank out to some of the staff. Really friendly, funny staff that work here, especially the bloke serving the food, wearing a big chicken mask.
He always is whenever I've seen him.
Right, on today's panel we have these two blokes on my right-hand side. Absolutely fantastic team. The cameraman Dino and Shauno. The guy doing the interviewing. Absolutely brilliant jobs these two lads do. The dynamic duo.
That's the nickname now.
And on my left we've got the one and only Mr. Michael Passionate Bowers. Watch his vlog yesterday.
God.
Absolutely amazing. He takes over my mantle now as the most passionate Sunderland blogger.
Can I just point out, I think that two of my most viewed videos have been when I've been ranting, so I just do that every week.
Brilliant rants. We all love a good rant, don't we? Love watching a good rant anyway.
It's warranted.
So today, before we get started with yesterday's, we call it a football match. How much longer, Michael, do we stick? We'll start with you first because we know your thoughts on it. How much longer do we stick with Phil Parkinson?
We'll give him an extra half an hour and then get him to pack his bags and then get lost down the motorway. Watch my video. That's the best way I can sum up my thoughts on Parkinson. I'm usually one of the last people to turn on the manager. I like to give them time, but when you go to Gillingham and you play for a 0-0 draw, what? What? Yeah, no, for me, he should be gone. And it pains me to say it in some respects. I think the players have got to step up, but Jesus Christ. Oh.
I mean, he's a lovely bloke. He seems a really nice man. I wish him all the best, whatever he does in the future. But Sean, what's your take on it?
Well, he wasn't my choice in the first place, but I always say, you give somebody a chance when they first come in. But 2 wins in 13, 14 games is unacceptable on any level. I mean, I'll cut our losses now, and it's getting desperate now for us. I mean, we can't really stick with this bloke. It's proven that he can't deal with the squad he's got. Are you going to give him till January and give him some money and then bring players in? I wouldn't. I would just cut our losses. I don't know how we're going to get, but that's the next big
Neil Warnock just saying
problem we've got. I thought getting rid of Ross was the right thing to do. But then getting Pattinson in wasn't for me. But I said get behind him. But it's 40. 2 wins in 14 games. It's
not good enough, is it?
Nah.
So before we start with Dean, you said you want Neil Warnock in. Who would you have in?
I'll just take a chance with Kevin Phillips.
I would definitely say Kevin Phillips.
Just to clarify, when I say I want Neil Warnock, I don't actually think it's going to happen. It's just who I want. There you go.
Dean, your thoughts on Phil Pattinson?
Get rid. Why is he playing 5 defenders? I said change things up, but I didn't mean change things up more negatively. Go 4-4-2. Fine, you went with 2 strikers. Bearing in mind McNulty's not fit. I did say go more narrow, but I didn't mean with 3 defensive midfielders practically, because according to the on the formation it was a 5-2-1-2, but no one's buying the striker. I never seen buying the striker. Why is he consistent with it? Why is Hume on the bench? We're most probably effective player going forward at the minute.
That I didn't understand.
Why is Watmore on the bench? One of the paciest players who can actually do something on the ball. Granted, he's not the best player in the world. It just baffles me, some of the decisions he's making, and I'm not being funny. I didn't know if I was watching rugby or football. It was just long ball constantly. I mean, get the bloke out. I'd literally have Kevin Ball. Honestly, give Kevin Ball, get Kevin Ball into the new manager. Get rid of Parkinson. Sorry,
Are we not being a bit hasty by getting rid of him straight away?
Nah. Have you seen any improvement apart from the first 2-3 games?
The first game of the season we played the wing back system under Jack Ross and he got rid of it, and then so why is Phil Pattinson doing the same thing?
You know why?
That's what I'm saying. He pushed the game yesterday. I looked at the team sheet. I went, well done, that's 5 defenders. So is he playing 5? Is he playing 5 at the back against Gillingham? That's a bit. That's negative.
2 holding midfielders, mate. Grant Libbert.
That's what I'm saying. That to me, it stinks of negativity. It's like I'm going there. I'm just going to draw the game. It's not the intention to win the game. Just drawing the game.
Can anyone tell me we went to that game with the intention of winning it yesterday?
Nah, definitely.
Well, he thinks putting 2 strikers up front is an indication that we're going to go forward. But let's be fair, Conor McLaughlin is not an attacking fullback. He's not a wing back. Neither is De Bock. So To put 5 defenders on a pitch with 2 holding midfielders is an absolute joke. It's a joke.
I mean, I've got no problem with going 2 up front, that's fair enough, but you've got to have the support behind them. What's the point in having 2 up front if you're basically going to have 8 players behind the ball not doing anything going forward? It was ridiculous, and like, we all had our debates here. I think it's safe to say if we continue this up, promotion's an absolute write-off completely. But at this point, if we can't expect to go to Gillingham and win, and we don't have a divine right to win, by the way, let me just make that clear. And Gillingham, great win for them. They'll love it, I'm sure they will. But it's just thinking, well, if we can't beat Gillingham, and we're probably not going to be able to beat Bolton on Boxing Day, who are we going to beat? What are we going to do?
So Dean, who'd you bring in if you got rid of Phil Pattinson?
I want a Stendhal.
So did I.
I want a Stendhal because Barnsley played attacking football. We've got attacking players, but obviously we probably won't get Stendhal. I'd go with Phillips.
I think he's
not? He needs to start somewhere. All the fans love him, and I just think he'd bring the X factor. I mean, look at what Lampard's doing at Chelsea. Look what they like. Obviously, Solskjaer's not having the best of times at Man U, but why can't Phillips have a thing like that? He's got no pressure on him technically. Do you know what I mean? Because let's be fair, we're not going up. We need something drastically to change in January forward.
I still think you say we're not going to get up. But I think if we get a right manager in, I still think we could get the playoffs. But January needs to be spot on. January we need to bring in the players we need: left back, right back, centre midfielder, attacking centre midfielder, and a striker who can score goals. I looked at the stats on Wyke and Grigg. They've played 78 games between them. 9 goals, maybe 10.
I think you're the stat man here now.
No, I checked it. I wanted to see.
That's unbelievable.
And
that doesn't surprise me.
Grigg got 3 goals last season, I think, and Wyke got 1. And Wyke's got 1 this season, I think.
Wyke got a fair few last year because I know he scored against like the Coventry, Doncaster, and Rochdale. But yeah, I get the point you're making. Like they're not. They're not.
If you want to go up, you need strikers who was going to bang in 20 goals a season. Fine, Grigg was supposed to be that player, but.
There's only so long
in 38 games he's played for Sunderland and scored 5 goals. It's pathetic.
And don't anyone dare tell me we don't, because at times we don't give Grigg the service, but he's got players behind him who should be able to give him service easily. What Sean mentioned about promotion, I'm in my head mathematically I haven't written off the playoffs. I've written off top 2 completely. That's gone. For us to get top 2, Ipswich or Wickham are going to have to press the self-destruct button massively. Teams above us are going to have to really cock up, and we're going to have to suddenly transform into a different team. It's not going to happen. No. So but top 6 it is at the minute. But at the minute, like
we're playing like a relegation team.
Yeah,
we haven't looked good apart from Tranmere. We haven't looked good against anybody.
Yeah,
even Bolton. No disrespect to Bolton, but
right. So can we trust? I know Stuart Dunn's done a great job of keeping the club afloat and doing well when they're short. Right? It's good. It's a good job, but when you get rid of someone like Jack Ross, you do expect someone better already lined up or to come in. Now, when he sacked Jack Ross, he had nobody lined up. Nobody at all he wanted to bring in. He had a few players there, a few managers there who he thought he could interview and thought because we being Sunderland, he can offer them 6 months contract. That's just my opinion. And get them in. But if he can't be trusted to find a better manager to improve from Jack Ross, because we've gone backwards with Phil Pattinson.
Well, clearly have.
Is he trusted to can he do a job in January?
No.
No.
He can't do that with the players he's got now, and I think obviously a good manager can get the best out of a shit bunch of players. So I'll just cut the losses with Phil Pattinson.
You know why I say no for? Because he thinks Charlie Wyke is the answer. That's what he thinks. Charlie Wyke the answer.
I'm talking about Stuart Donald.
Oh, Donald.
Can you trust Stuart Donald to spend the money wisely? That his backroom staff to get the players in.
Do you mean the question is, can you trust him to make the right managerial
exactly?
appointment?
To make the right decisions in January, to buy in the right players, to spend the money wisely.
But who buys these players? Is it the manager? Do we have a director of football? Who buys these players?
I very much doubt it's Stuart Donald buying these players. But your question's right. Who's recruiting these players? I'm usually against a director of football because it requires a lot for people to be on the same page quickly. But at the minute, like Jack Ross, we keep hearing conflicting stories every 2 bloody minutes. Like, is he buying the players? Like, well, come on, Jack Ross would have said yes to some of those players, so he said no to some of those players. But what's the plan? What's the recruitment team? I think Dean might have mentioned this in a few panels ago. Do recruitment teams got to be called into question here?
Definitely.
How many times have we said we need pace, we need power, we need athleticism? Don't get it, don't get it, don't get it. Why?
We got power, didn't
we?
We do get power, just the name.
Well, yeah. I probably walked into that one, to be fair. Like, It's embarrassing. Like, how do these people at the club not know who? We've said Marcus Madison's name. Right? I'm not expecting us to sign him, but someone of that ilk, someone who can help unlock the door, help score goals.
Yeah.
Like, just your genuine question: does this recruitment team want to get promoted? Do they actually want to get promoted?
I don't think so.
So Sean and Dino, right, is the same thing, right? If we've got a new manager in, would you give 100% behind the manager buying the players in, or would you stick with the recruitment team, or stick with Stuart Donald doing the work behind the scenes?
Go on, Sean.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, the person who's in charge of transfers at the minute, that isn't going on right. So I think if we're getting a new manager in, you've got to let him have sole control of the players he's bringing in. Because I think Jack Ross said something before. I think it was a Tony Davidson. I think that. Well, he's left now. But he wasn't bringing in the right calibre of players. Jack Ross wasn't happy because he said his hands were tied. I think he came and said that.
Why would you want to come to Sunderland and know that you're not going to sign the players you want? I mean, go back to Alex Ferguson days. Do you really think Alex Ferguson would let someone else sign a player?
Definitely not.
As a manager, you want the players you want, not what somebody else wants.
They can advise certain players and say, "Oh, I like this one. What do you think?" Do you know what I mean? But then the manager should have the sole control of the transfers. Who he's bringing in and who's going out.
If the manager and head coach is going to get the scepticism and criticism when things go wrong, then he should at least be allowed to make the signings.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
But our recruitment's been just died over the last two.
We've had a couple of gems, let's be fair. John McLaughlin, he's a gem.
Yeah.
Lee Burgeon away is a gem. Willis is a gem. But then you've got other players who's like Dobson, right? We all says we wanted him, but he's a League One relegated player. Let's be fair. He's a League One relegated player in a team that weren't that good, but he was the shining light of that team. But you want players who have been promoted before, who actually know the league. Did Dobson? Not really.
We've got a lot of the same players in this team, I think, as well now. I think in January we need to be signing skillful attacking players. We've got too many of the same calibre of players. You know
Definitely in the centre.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Well, we need variety, don't we?
We're crying for somebody in the
we
middle.
don't have variety,
Just
do we?
That's what I mean, yeah, we don't do
I'll
it.
take a few players on and create something, you know what I mean? We haven't got that.
But here's the thing, though. In order to get players in January, do any of you partially think that we've got to get rid of players and sell them?
No, because our team's not big enough anyway.
Our squad's
the squad depth in this team is a joke.
No, I meant in terms of finances. I didn't mean in terms of squad numbers.
Well, how are you? got rid of Catmull, who's on a good wage.
No, I agree with you. I'm just trying to put it out there that are we going to have to, for example, can we stick with Greg?
We shouldn't technically have to sell players.
I agree. I don't think we should.
Any strikers have got on the books now? White, Greg, McNulty. Is what more would you class him as a striker?
No, he's more.
I wouldn't class him as a wide player, mate. But I know.
So you've got effectively 5 there. So are we going to bring a strike in without one gun? Probably not.
Here's a thought, Michael. Juan Santori is supposed to be back now and wants to concentrate more on Sunderland football. Shouldn't he be let to run the club and let Stuart Donald just sit back and take a back seat for a little while and see if Juan Santori can have his contacts with his father-in-law, with the likes of, he used to own Monaco. I think he still owns Monaco. I'm not quite sure. And then he might have better contacts and a better idea of how to run the club better, how to get better managers in, better players in. What's your thoughts on Juan Santori?
Depends how big his football experience is. I might be naive on my part. I don't know. I mean, I know he's got connections with someone either is or has been connected with Monaco. But I wonder, at this point, can we say could it go in? We've got nothing to lose really, so maybe not. Maybe that. I mean, I know we'll talk about Methven later, but maybe Methven's second back. There might be a factor behind that, in that Sartori is actually going to come and take charge and take control of things. I don't know. That's the answer. I don't know. But at this point, why not?
He's clearly a clever, brilliant man. Thoughts, Sean? Sorry, Dean.
No, good, Sean. It's all right, mate.
Juan Santori? Well, think he should be more involved with the team, with the running of the club?
Not really. No, not really. I think obviously I think out of all of them, he's got the most money. He's got the most people who we can bring in, I suppose. But I think Stuart Donald's got to get a grip of his side and get control of his football clubs. I think he's slowly losing the grip of everything at the moment. I mean, I personally think, I was thinking about this last night. I think the job in itself is becoming too big for Stuart Donald. Like, obviously a massive club like us, expectations, this, that and the other. I don't think I'm not sure if he's coping with it well at the minute.
Juan Santori just failed to be the president of Uruguay. So he's got a massive team behind him, loads of money behind him. He knows the passion, the drive to do what he wants to do. If he puts that into Sunderland Football Club, how good can we be?
That's a good point.
There's something not right behind the scenes. It's clearly obvious.
That way, doesn't it?
For me, Stuart Donald, he's a businessman, but he's a fan. That's what we liked about it. But he was a fan in the lower leagues. and then taking the step up to Sunderland, he probably thought, oh, this will be a cakewalk, this. And now it's like you recognise he's stopped talking now because people aren't listening to him anymore. We don't want to hear the waffle, we've got the biggest budget, because we clearly don't. So I want proper football men with experience into the boardroom. And like you say, what's going on with this American stuff as well? What's going on with that? Are them coming in as well? Yeah. I mean, there's just so many unanswered questions, and to be honest, we are in a mess on and off the field at the minute.
They'll be looking at this door, they'll be looking and going, Jesus, this is like a big club, but it's getting run really badly. Do you know what I mean?
It was good at the start, and then the wheels are starting to slowly come off, and Stuart Donald is not in the public eye as much. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Right, well, sorry.
I'm done. I'm done.
We'll go into the predictions of the match. which is me, predicted a 1-0 victory. But I predicted it to Sunderland rather than Gillingham, so I got it wrong, but the score prediction right. Sean Middleton predicted 1 to Peach. Michael Bowers, you said 2-1 to Sunderland.
Although I did say Gillingham would score 1, so yes. I did get that bit right. I won half a point.
And Mr. Weefley said 3-1 to Sunderland, but he got it slightly wrong.
Dean, are we going hashtag down by Easter at this point?
Dean, what was your score prediction?
Well, it's on camera. I did say if he changes things, we'd win 2-1, but if he didn't change things, we'd lose 1-0. And when I meant change things, I mean positively, not negatively. So I'm taking the 1-0 I say against it. So I got it right.
Okay.
So Dean, what formation would have you played yesterday?
4-4-2. Yeah. It's not hard. 4-4-2.
I mean, just 4-4-2 or 4-3-3 or something like 4-4-1-1. Just something like a bit attacking wise. You know what I mean? You're going down to Gillingham and like Michael saying, I'm going to play for a draw. It's an absolute joke. Like it is. It's a joke. Michael.
0-0-10 formation. Why not? But concede goals anyway. So
I was thinking 1-2-2-2-2-2-2-2. All the subs as well.
Well, if I like to play narrows, let's go the ultimate version of narrow. Like it's why do you go to Gillingham and you play 3 centre backs and then the midfielders you have a 2-team? What?
I was that bored watching the match.
It's laughable. It's laughable.
I was that bored watching the match yesterday. I'll tell Dino anyone. I was that bored. I fell asleep watching it in the 20th minute.
And I'm actually glad. The best part about Saturday is the fact I didn't go down because I was at work. Yeah, I was supposed to be there.
These two said in the group chat when we were supposed to go down, because I think they'll be quite thankful work got in the way now, but they said they were gutted, and I said, come 5 o'clock Saturday, you probably won't be. Like Sunderland, you don't have to prove us right, you know. You can come and spring up a surprise, as it were. Oh, God.
Right, so yesterday Charlie White scored a great header, a great finish from the big man himself, but was disallowed, and there was a bit of confusion. The linesman kept his flag down, put the ball in the back of the net. Then the referee ran over to the linesman and persuaded him to put his flag up. Or did he? No. I think apparently Luke O'Nien had his arm linked around the goalkeeper. So possibly it was disallowed because Luke O'Nien was sort of...
Sorry, because that's a free kick now, is it?
Obstructing it was more like that. Come here. That's what he was doing, Luke O'Nien. So maybe that's why it was disallowed. I'm not quite sure. I've only seen it from one angle. So, Michael, your thoughts on the disallowed goal yesterday?
I was good. Because when I watched it, I watched the game, and when it went in, I was buzzing over the moon, and then I saw that the Sunderland fans had stopped celebrating. They were very still, and I thought, oh crap, it's been disallowed, hasn't it?
Do you not think who's going to tell Charlie White it's disallowed? He was celebrating like 5 minutes, wasn't he?
Please, man, he can't even win a physical battle, man. I think it'd be an easier thing to tell him it's been disallowed. I don't know what it was for. I mean, if what you're saying, like O'Nien infringing on the keeper, or for handball or offside, whatever it is, like.
How do we know he infringed? How do we not know the keeper grabbed him and then fell down? You know what players are like these days.
Well, Luke's got his arm linked in like that.
Well, maybe he's trying to get his arm away and the keeper's linked him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think the keeper...
Dino, you're allowed to be physical in a football game. When's this been the case?
There's no such thing as physicality in the game. If a player goes down, it's a free kick. It's a joke.
My point is that, you know, if I touch my mistake like this, it's a free kick. You can't do it. The game is going to get ruined.
The thing is, and you're surprised that was disallowed with the referees in this league.
No, not really.
We never get decisions anyway, so I wasn't surprised. I was like, oh well.
And don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Not getting the decisions doesn't excuse the fact that the result was unacceptable yesterday. But I'm getting tired of this. Right, we can't keep blaming the referees because we can't ignore how shite they've been just because we've been poor.
Yeah, but if a player's doing this.
Yeah, just carry on.
You're going to expect to give away a foul, aren't you? You've got to stop, cuddling the bloke. Let him go. Let's get on with the game. If you're Sunderland football club,
come here, man.
That's the second person who's cuddled me the last 2 days. If you're a Sunderland player and you know the referees are going to be against you, the last thing you want to do is start doing something like that. So
it's not good game intelligence, then, is it? Really?
I thought
really.
The build-up to the goal, I thought was great because Dobson was running with it. He squared to Charlie White. Charlie White squared to Grigg. Grigg actually had a shot at first, if you can remember. He had a shot come back out of him. Then he crossed it, and obviously I thought it was a goal. So I was on the phone with my mum, and she was like, "Oh, mum just scored, great."
Mummy.
And obviously, 5 minutes later, the score's still
disallowed.
The score's still 0-0. I was thinking, that's being disallowed. I'm thinking, what for? My first initial thought was offside, but then thinking back, I'm thinking when the cross come in, did White paid? Was he found the defender when he went ahead of it? So there was the two solutions. But obviously, we were saying there that look, when Nine was grabbing the goalkeeper.
I suppose it was the other way around. We'd be appealing for that to be disallowed.
But probably wouldn't go. It would probably go against.
But that's just something.
More than likely.
We score the goal, 70 odd minutes, and you think, oh, we're going to get 3 points here. I thought we'd score the goal. I actually thought we'd score the one 5 minutes later. I was on the phone with my mum, and then realised the goal being disallowed.
You know what would have really
so like
happened?
Sunderland, 89th minute, and they can score.
You know what would have happened though? If we'd gone 1-0 up, we probably would have lost 2-1.
Let's not get away from the fact we only had like 2 shots on target. I think that game, and
like
most of the time we're in our own half. I can hear something. Sorry.
Do you know that's progress? 2 shots on target. Last time when Gillingham had no shots on target.
It's not good enough. They were in our half most of the game.
It's not funny, like,
Oh god!
It's actually a joke. The fact that the only time we can get in their half is if we hump the ball up, and hopefully one of them can get onto it. It's a joke, honestly. It really is. The team we've got. I'm not being funny. Our team's not the best team. We're not the best team in League One.
It's better than it is at the minute, though. It's better than it's shown at the minute.
It doesn't look like it.
No, it doesn't look like it. But I just mean, like, I think the Kennedys delivering more than they are.
Should be thinking better with that.
But
I think.
But why though? Why do you say that? Because let's be fair. Go through the team. There's not really a handful of players who are like mint League One players. They're not. They're clearly not.
And
Will Grigg. Will Grigg's terrible. White's terrible. He's not a League One striker.
I just think the manager. We've had 2 managers now. Newton reckons that Ross was getting the best out of the players. I don't think he was. I don't think Pattinson.
I agree with you. I don't think
Pattinson is either. I think a good manager will get the best out of the players and will do better. But it's a case of we're being a little bit unlucky. We're getting Ross negative, Pattinson negative. Even you said before. He said Pattinson is just an older version of Ross.
Well, it seems that way because he's negative as out. And he's playing 4-2-3-1 all the time.
But then that's the point. Then in the game against, I know Tranmere's one game, fair enough. But the point was Parkinson was really going for it. Positive in that game. What happens? We score 5 goals. Now, granted, Tranmere were terrible. But it doesn't change the fact that we were positive in that game and we got the 3 points because of it. Why are we seeing now players just shirking away? And I agree with you, the squad is nowhere near the best in the league. It's definitely not a top squad. I think for me that squad should easily be a top 6 squad.
Should be doing better.
And the reason is because there are players that we're losing games, in my opinion, because players are not taking responsibility. They're not taking responsibility in key situations, and then they're making half-assed runs. They're not tracking their men properly. They're not doing the basic things and that is also.
And do you know what that comes down to? The players are not good. That's why, because they don't have the game intelligence to do that.
So then the coaches
instructions. I'm not being funny. Instructions are a load of bollocks for the simple fact. If you're on a player, if you know something's not working, and you make one run what your manager's told you not to do, you get on the edge of the box and you score a goal. You get praise, loads of praise, but everyone's too scared to take responsibility.
If a man's
that's the point, though. They're not taking it.
So that's not good enough.
That's the point.
That means the players aren't good enough.
That's them choosing to not take responsibility.
But the players aren't good enough.
They were doing that last season, though. You can't have that.
If the managers
instructing
the players negative
last season,
it's not that kind of sort of thing, is it?
I'm not being funny. The top 6 teams, would them take any of our players? They would probably take McLaughlin and Willis, maybe Lynch, and maybe Hume. The rest of them, I don't even think teams would even want.
You may call me mental here. I think a few teams in League One would still take Grigg. No, don't look at us like that. The reason is because Grigg would go to another team and actually would do well, wouldn't he? You can't tell me Grigg has become a bad striker, an awful striker, just because he hasn't done it here.
You do? Have you never heard of a one-season wonder?
No, but
it's not just across Wigan though. He's done it across a few clubs at this level though.
Who though? I looked.
MK Dons, Wigan, just to name 2 straight away. He's done it Wigan over 2 or 3
the highest
seasons.
goal scoring season he had was 25 in League One. Then he had a 17. Then everything else was like 10s and that. He's not.
Well, exactly. For me, proves he's better than he's shown at the minute. Then
I think a lot of them players are just not doing themselves justice, not doing the fans' justice, the club justice. They're not. There's not.
You know why? Because they're not good enough.
Well,
or is there a
have to disagree with
fallout
that.
in the dressing
For a
room?
second.
Is there a fallout in the dressing room? Do you think the people have fell out with each other? Is it two different groups in the dressing room? Have some of the players fell out with other players? I've heard rumours kicking about. Only rumours, mind.
I've heard that. Right.
Anybody got any thoughts on that, Michael?
If they shouldn't be footballers.
You can fall out with people, but you can still play together.
Exactly.
Accordingly, York hated Teddy Sheringham, but they played well together. You don't have to get on with people. What's that? Cole and Sheringham. Sorry, my mistake. Cole and Sheringham. But they
Just
play
say
together.
Sheringham.
You can play well together. You don't have to like the person to play with them. Do you know what I mean?
No, exactly.
I think there might be a divide because I think when what I've heard is that the players a lot of them weren't happy when Ross got sacked, and it makes you wonder.
Well, that's their fault for not performing.
Exactly. I've got such a beamy bonnet about this. If those players weren't happy that Ross got sacked, well, guess what? You should have played better for him then, shouldn't you? Because he wouldn't have got sacked otherwise. Goodness me.
But Ross didn't do himself any favours with the negative,
he didn't.
with all the negative tactics, and with the fact we had 4 games in hand and we still blew it.
And
that was his fault.
I did say I wanted Ross sacked, but obviously I thought they would have looked at a good replacement. I think when they sacked him, Donald have sacked him. He didn't have one sole person lined up to replace. So it was like, we'll approach that one, we'll approach this one. He's unavailable, and then it's the case. We'll just Phil Pattinson's out of a job, cheap option. Do you know what I mean? We'll just settle for him.
And he was at Bolton.
So Dean, we'll put the shoe on the other foot, right?
Oh, then.
We had a goal disallowed, but Gillingham also. Was it hit the crossbar of a post? Did the ball go over the line? Did you have any footage on
I
that?
thought it did, but it's one
So
of
was
them.
it hard lines on them as well?
It went for us that time.
Exactly.
Because we have seen cases where the ball doesn't cross the line, but it's been given. So if it did cross the line, we got a bit of luck there. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, they hit the bar again. Don't forget.
Yeah, so was the referee more biased towards them, knowing that he made a mistake?
No, because if you can't tell, if you don't know that's guaranteed when it over the line, you don't give it. If it did by that much, how can a referee see by that much?
Yeah.
So
Linesman's got helmet then.
Isn't that
but
also
the
what the
linesman can't get in that
for as well?
position. The linesman can't. The ball goes faster than the linesman. So when it hits it, if it hits the net, it's a guarantee. If it hits the back of the net, but it didn't, it bounced. It might have been that much over the line, but it doesn't mean it's going to hit the net.
I suppose to back up what Dean was saying, if you look back at when we beat Bradford up here last season, they had a goal that was clearly over the line. It was clearly So you know, if that is not being allowed,
if it's not 100% clear, you can't give it. It's as simple as that.
You know,
This is what I think. I think the referee, if he makes a mistake in the first half, and say the manager comes in and has to speak to the referee, and he gets on his case, and the referee realises he's made a mistake in the first half, I think he goes out in the second half and he wants to put the wrong right, and he wants to do the same for the other side and make it level. That's what I think anyway. That's just what I think. I think it affects the referee's decisions
But
in the second half.
that's unprofessional on the referee's
It is
part.
unprofessional, and I don't know if managers are allowed to talk to the referee at any point, but they shouldn't be allowed to, and he shouldn't be allowed to sort of sway the referee's judgment. But if he clearly knows he's made a mistake, he wants to go out in the second half and make it put right.
Do you reckon that's why he ruled our goal?
probably, yeah.
I mean, he might have saw him doing that, and the time might have got away with it. But I think that's probably the reason why he gave it off. Yeah, he disallowed it for 2 wrongs to make it right in his mind.
Is there ever a League One game with us where the referees are not the centre of attention at some stage?
The referees are just shite
It's
in this
absolutely
league,
ridiculous.
I mean, look at all the pens we should have had in games when Luke O'Nine's been brought down clearly and we don't get them.
Stonewalls and all.
I suppose on the show on the other foot, we've had times like early when Ozturk was playing, for example, he was giving away quite a few.
So it's give and take.
It's both ways. We can't just
give and take.
See, I'm not blaming the referee. I think if you're good enough, you win a game of football, regardless what the referee does. You win by 3 goals, you let 1 in because the referee says it was
Matt
in,
Yarnold,
whatever.
didn't you? Matt Yarnold, yeah.
So, we're talking about shite. Sorry, I mean Charlie White. Sorry, I didn't mean that. Slipped out. What was your thoughts on Charlie White's performance yesterday, Dean?
Well, he came straight on, got the ball, had a shot, but was off target, so that's not good enough. If you're a striker, you should be hitting the target regardless. And then other than that, and now he scored the goal, but disallowed, so it doesn't count. So for me, he didn't really do much. Did he win a couple of aerial battles? Maybe, but
What time did he come on?
about 70. Oh, don't mention about the substitutions. I was fuming. I was absolutely fuming.
go on, Dino.
No, go on. We'll go along.
I disagree with Dean. I thought White actually didn't do too bad when he come on. He got himself about a bit. He actually, at the lead up with the goal, I thought he squared the ball well to Grigg, and obviously Grigg should have really scored from that position, but he had obviously come back out when he crossed it and he put it away. I thought White done alright when he come on. To be fair,
Michael?
I'm with Sean on this. I didn't think Wyke, obviously, he didn't set the world, like, obviously, and he doesn't really anyway. I don't expect it of him, but you look at it, like, Wyke's effort wasn't disallowed. Half target, that was more than what McNulty did, that was more than what Grigg did in about 70 minutes.
Well, that's fair. That's fair enough, but but he didn't score, so he wasn't effective.
What I want to piggyback off what Dean said actually is that the substitutions again, and it's one of the things that I ranted about in my review. Right, Parkinson, for the second game in a row, the game's level, you could easily bring players on that could effectively win us the game if you really wanted to.
Who would you bring on?
Who would you bring on? Well, either McGeady, right, Watmore, Hume, Maguire, McGeady. There was 4 different options.
That's 4, but you've got to bring 3 on.
Oh yeah, no. No, I would have...
So you brought Wyke on, you've got 2 more substitutions left. Who would you bring on?
Watmore and Hume.
Watmore and Hume.
Take off?
I'd agree.
Watmore and Hume. Who would I take off? Right, DeBock's one of them.
Yep.
And possibly... And possibly, I know, me and Dino agree on something. This was the first, isn't it? And probably, I don't know, Grigg maybe for what more. I just think my point was he could have freshened it up. He could have right, come on, the game was there for the taking if we wanted it. If we really wanted that win, the game was there for the taking.
Definitely.
But Parkinson think, you know what? A draw at Gillingham is an absolutely fantastic result. I'm just going to sit back. Oh wait, we've conceded. Right,
conceded and brought Maguire on.
You caught it. You love that quote.
Stupid muppet.
Would a draw at Gillingham not be good though?
No.
Well, think about now. Got no points with a draw not being good.
Nah, not really. Anything less than a win shouldn't have been considered.
That
really.
just sums it up.
Actually, no, sorry, I take back. My mistake. You're right. George Gillingham, best result of our season. Absolutely buzzing.
Better than the other 2 results against Gillingham.
No, really, we drew 1-1 up here.
Yeah, but at home we should get at least a point. Right, in the cup doesn't matter.
Do you know what's not funny, right? Ledbetter had a terrible game. He gave the ball away that many times, right? How that bloke's on that football pitch, I don't know.
I tell you what,
right?
he was terrible,
just because he's captain doesn't mean nothing, right?
Jesus.
He's not good enough. He shouldn't be playing. One of my mates says at football, Scotty, he said, why is Ballymumba not playing? Why? Would he do any worse? Would Ethan Robson do any worse than what Ledbetter's doing right now? At least they've got legs.
Ledbetter was absolutely terrible. The last few games, it's just basic things like controlling the ball. He's just letting the ball slip past him.
He's passing. His first pass went in the air.
Jesus Christ.
The only thing I could give in his favour is that when he lost the ball, he won the second balls and won them back. But you shouldn't be giving the first balls away in the first place. Like, even then, me and Sean had the disagreement on the last one about Power and McGeehan and all that. But I'll tell you what, McGeehan couldn't do any worse than Ledbetter.
Ledbetter needs to be cut from it. Give him a coaching role.
And again, it is a shame because I really do like the bloke. But you're right, he's not good enough anymore.
He's not good enough.
He's just past it.
This is what gets you up, making the hard decisions on who to drop. And for me, Ledbetter should be the first one being dropped because he's not quick, he's not good enough, he doesn't offer much apart from a good corner. I don't have more to your game than just having a good corner.
I think he's good probably I would like to think he's good for the dressing room, but at the minute it doesn't look it. But on the pit, and maybe on the bench I probably haven't, but wouldn't bring him on. But right now we're starting, nah.
I think Ledbetter. Yeah, I think Ledbetter shouldn't be starting, and I think Charlie Wyke did do okay yesterday, and I think Charlie Wyke probably should start next match up top with either Will Grigg or Matt Nulty. I'm not quite sure which one. But on to yesterday's substitutions, the first one was quite good with Charlie Wyke coming on. So why did he wait till 92?
Because we went 1-0 down. He went, I've got to go for it now. We can't get that draw. So he brings McLaughlin off.
Dino's ranting for me.
Obviously he's put Flanagan right back and went 4 at the back. But it's too late.
But that's what
too late.
But that's what I mean. Why does he not do this at the start of the game and thinking, right, let's go for a score for against Chile? No, respect the point. Respect the point. Phil, you idiot. We're in League One and we should be aiming to try and go higher up the league. Goodness me. Get that, Phil. You'll be better than Parkinson. Telling you now.
No, it's mad though. We'll get rid of Ross, like negative manager, and we'll get Parkinson.
And then we get even more negative.
We get even more. 2 negative managers.
I would say Parkinson's more negative than Ross.
Jesus, honestly,
and that's an achievement.
There's only Sunderland Football Club can do that. Do you know what I mean?
Ross said that I'm going for Sean.
I know.
Alan Dino, question to you first before the other two. Who are your 2 centre mids for next match?
I've always said Luke O'Neill and Dobson, but now I want something fresh. I want something new. I want Ballymumba in there. I want to see what he can do. He started in the He started when he was a 16-year-old. He came on in a Premier League game or a Championship game, and then he started under Jack Ross's first League One game, and then he's been out of sight ever since. He hasn't been given a chance. Give him a go, because he can't be doing worse what we're doing right now, because we're not creating anything. We're doing nothing in centre midfield. We're so stale. So for me, Luke O'Neill for his legs. Dobson, I don't even know what kind of player he is. But Ballymumba or get Ethan Robson back off loan.
I would go with O'Neill and McGeehan in the middle. That's why I would just
I never really looked at Luke O'Nine's legs. They're nice, like. Your centre mids?
Luke 09 for his legs. I don't know. I thought Dobson did well second half yesterday. I thought he got down the byline, he sprinted down the left-hand side a couple of times and actually tried to drive the team forward. For me, I would say 09 and Dobson, but if Dobson's not in there, then probably 09. Dean's dying to say something.
No, I'm waiting for you to see what you're going to say.
Okay, and probably 09 and Mumba/McGeehan. Because I do agree.
Where's Power these days? You're the one who rates Power. Where's Power? Why is Power not being picked? You're the one who rates Power, but yet he's not in your starting two. Away.
I think I would play.
How do we assume we go for 2 in the middle formation? How can we not change it?
You can't go 3. We've tried the 3, it doesn't work. You need 2 up front.
Of course you can't even go 4-2-3-1. 4-2.
Don't say 4-2-3-1.
I'm doing it to take the mic, man. I've said that. Yeah, actually, I completely forgot about Power because he was suspended yesterday. Doesn't mean he's not good enough. I actually think he is one of the midfielders that is.
But you wouldn't put him in.
Sorry?
But you wouldn't put him in.
Actually, I would.
Oh, no, just because I reminded him.
No, thanks for reminding. Yeah, probably 09 and Power.
Yeah, I think 09 first choice straight away because he's a box-to-box player, loads of energy, and I think anybody else apart from Ledbetter would be worth a try alongside Luke. 09 centre mid, whether it's Robson, Mumba, whether it's McGeehan, whether it's Power, or whether it's Dobson. One of those, put one of those in with 09, but 09 is going to affect the centre mid position for me big time. Right, so anybody? We'll start with Michael first, see if he has any news. But do you have any news on Gooch, and do you think Gooch would come straight back under the side?
I don't know when Gooch will be back. I wish I was privy to that sort of information, but I would. Yeah, I would. I never. If you remember back, I like Gooch for his energy and getting forward in his pace, but I've always constantly questioned his decision making. Tell you what, we are missing him badly in that team at the minute. At least Gooch, Gooch will actually put something. Oh, what's it called? Effort in, and will actually try and actually attempt to take people on and actually try and be a bit dynamic going forward. Yeah, we miss him badly.
You get Gooch back, you play him on the right wing, put Watmore on the left wing, then you've got a bit of pace. You know what I mean? Something we haven't got, and try and get them down the byline, getting crosses in. You know.
I will come to the conclusion that McGeady's getting frozen out now. That we don't want McGeady on the pitch.
He could be the bad.
I think it's starting to.
Do you reckon that's the way we're going now, where we don't want McGeady on the pitch?
I think he's going to be a substitute who can impact. If he gets his head in the right place, he could impact the match later on in the day when the team's getting tired.
I think McGeady will take a huff because McGeady wants to be this. McGeady thinks he's a star player. So if you're bringing him on, do you really think he's going to be like running around making 100? I don't. I think he's just going to take the sub. Like
well, if he doesn't do that, he's
like Maguire. Yeah. Maguire's the same.
Well, if either of them aren't going to do that, then they're not going to get back in the team.
But do you think with someone like Kevin Phillips as manager of Sunderland Football Club, with the respect he has, McGeady would respect him and play for him?
It depends on what kind of person he is. Is he a respectful person? He didn't get along with Coleman, so it's not the first manager he didn't get along with.
Is McGeady a bad apple? Because there's a lot of people saying that he's...
It's not about McGeady.
Well, what just to throw it in there, what Dean was saying when you said the players were taking huff about Jack Ross, I think McGeady probably would have been the biggest one, a lot of them. Because McGeady allegedly signed a new contract and stayed at the club when we got relegated because of Jack Ross. Actually, just out there, would any of you be surprised to see McGeady go in January?
No, I wouldn't. I'm surprised to see anybody go in January.
He's already told the fans to fuck off, so you can tell he doesn't really like us as fans because he's done that, but he did come over and apologise, which I've heard.
Yeah, and I do wonder whether if it meant getting a couple of players with pace, I'd let McGeady and Maguire
go.
He's on 15 grand a week, and he can get 2 good...
I'm sorry, for his performances this season, you can't justify that.
No, exactly.
So back to the original question.
Sorry,
do any
that was my fault.
Alright. But any of you two know what's up with Gucci when he's coming back, and would he walk straight back into the side for you two? Would you put him on the bench and let him get into it first?
Bench then get into it because you've always got that risk of coming back from injury that it could happen again. Because he went over on his ankle, didn't he, when he just turned? I remember watching the game and he came back on. I went, he's going straight back off because it didn't look good. But he needs to get match fit first because the worst thing you can do, like look at McNulty yesterday, he wasn't his cell. He came back from an injury and he looked a shadow. He wasn't doing anything. So for me, you got to
ease him in,
and then start. But what more? There should be no excuse why he's on the bench.
Agreed.
If he's fit,
I fully agree.
He should be on the pitch.
I don't understand that team selection yesterday.
Team selection's baffling. It really is.
Mr. Middleton.
I would just basically agree with what Dean said. I would just ease him in and then bring him in the starting 11 because I think we have missed. I never thought I'd say this, but I think we have actually missed Gooch. Like Michael said, at least he gives effort. A lot of them players now. Didn't give any effort, they're not bothered. Do
you know what I missed the most? I missed you three last Sunday. Nothing to do.
What about Philly?
Cringy is that, man?
What about Philly?
How nice.
I always miss wee Philly. Right, anyway, on about team selection. So, with you being an experienced Sunderland fan, all three of us. Right, all three of you, is not me.
Yeah.
Right. What team selections, what changes would have you made? What team would have you started yesterday?
Well, I looked at the team selection and I seen the 5 defenders that went, what is he doing here? I mean, is he playing a 5-3-2? Is he playing 4? What's it, 4?
3-4.
Sorry, 3-4-3. I was thinking it's negative no matter which way you look at it. I mean, as I look at the bench and I'm going, why is Watmore not playing? Do you know what I mean?
You know who was injured and who was not injured, so what would your 4-4-2 be yesterday?
Well, I would have played Watmore. I would have went with Greg. Well, Greg and McNulty did start, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I went with that. But I would have played 4 in the middle. And I wouldn't have went with Ledbetter because, like you see, I would have played McGeehan and 09, Maguire, McGeady. I probably would have played McGeady actually, like, and then with the back 4, I would have, and I used like Hume, but I would have played DeBock, Willis. I think Lynch has got a knock on him, so that's why he didn't play. Colin McLaughlin and Ulster.
Who did you say didn't play Willis?
No, Lynch.
I was going to say, I think you said Willis.
He's got a knock on him.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't start.
If you don't like McNulty coming straight back to the side because he's had an injury, he's not going to be fit, 100% fit. So would you not maybe put Watmore up front and then brought McNulty on later on?
Yeah, maybe stay that. Yeah, I was. Yeah, or either that or put at least put Watmore on the pitch because he's got that pace and he can change things. But McNulty just coming back was a bit baffling as well. Like, I mean, when somebody just comes back, you didn't like start them unless they're 100%. And he obviously wasn't 100%. You would say that,
Dean.
DeBock on the left, Ozturk because obviously Lynch was injured, with Willis, McLaughlin right back because I don't want 09 at right back ever. On the wings, I would have went Hume.
Right, that's it.
I would have went Hume because I think Hume would do better on the left wing than the left back. In the centre, 09 and Mumba because we need to change something in the centre. So for me, give Mumba a go. If not, you can bring him up and put Dobson on. On the right, probably Watmore, maybe. If not Watmore, who else we got? McGeady.
Maguire can play that.
Maguire, McGeady, and then up front, I would have changed a lot because it's not working what we're doing. So for me, Benji and Watmore. If you want to, why is he not on the bench?
Well,
you're telling me I'd rather have Benji on the bench than Greg.
Michael?
Yes.
We're talking about. Wait, are we talking? Are we talking about? Are we assuming what team would I have gone to yesterday?
What team would you have done and what's formation? With the players.
Well, while everybody else was talking, I was trying to think in my head who would I put where. Okay, fine. Just for the sake of it, because everyone else has gone 4-4-2, I'll do the same thing. I'd have said McLaughlin goal, but it could have been either one of them for me.
I don't mind either way.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm actually, you're going to be surprised. I'm actually going to stick up for Colin McLaughlin here. That yesterday he actually put in 2 or 3 decent balls in the first half. But the problem is nobody was on. I know. The problem is nobody was on the end. No, he does. I've got to the point where I think I've kind of reached Dino's thinking to a point where 09 is to an extent. 09 is one of the most energetic players we've got in the team. And for me, I'm probably at this point we're going to have to sacrifice. For me, I think McLaughlin makes too many defensive errors, but I might as well sacrifice that because if we're just going to have 09 there, we're going to have nothing going forward at all.
So before we continue, you agree with Dean and you're also saying you like Colin McLaughlin.
Oh yeah.
Like's a stretch.
Check his drink, will you?
Actually, no. Actually, I'll tell you what. I'll revise that. I'll say right. Put John McLaughlin, then a back 4 of DeBock. Well, no, you can't play him. Try Ozturk, Willis, probably Flanagan. I might have been tempted to try him at right back actually, but him or McLaughlin either way doesn't make a difference to me at this point. 4-4-2. I'd probably would tempted to go Human Watmore, same as what Dino said. Personally, for me, Power a little bit deeper, but 09 going a bit further forward, and probably Greg and White just for the sake that we haven't got anyone else.
So if Power was suspended, who would you have in?
Oh yeah, Power's it.
Dobson or
Barley.
Dobson. One of Dobson, Mumba or McGeehan. I couldn't decide between the 3 of them. One of the 3.
So who was your man of the match yesterday, Michael?
Man of the match.
Clearly not Phil Pattinson.
Can I say man of the match for the wrong reasons?
If you want, whatever you want to say.
For man of the Phil Parkinson, man of the match for all the wrong reasons. There you go.
So you don't think anybody played well at all in the Sunderland side?
Probably White just when he came on thought he added something different.
That's what I was going to say.
That's probably it. That's a stretch though.
That's how bad it is. If somebody comes on the 70th minute and you give the man a match, I tell you how bad our team is. Our team was.
I'm not even going to give anyone man of the match. I don't think any of them deserve it.
You could have
just one.
I'll tell you what,
just the one.
Dino.
If I was going to give it to someone, I'd give it for 09 for the simple fact he always puts 100% in. Simple as that.
You should,
Other than that, the quality was shite.
you should have gone for the cliched option, gone for the fans who made all that long way down there.
I know they did, but even the fan, like, I didn't really hear much singing. Obviously, the fans are starting to change.
Is Dino calling out the fans here?
Like, no, I'm not giving the fans any stick. I'm saying I don't blame them for not singing, because there's nothing to sing about, because what you're watching is shite.
Just to throw it out there, like, you look when we went to Gillingham last season, the 4-1, that away end for a midweek away.
Right, so you're telling me, right, we can beat them 4-1 last season, but we can't beat them this season. That shows how far back we've gone, because let's be fair, Gillingham don't have the money to spend to get better players in, so that just shows how far we've came.
Yeah, exactly. The point I was making was that was sold out for an away game at Gillingham, and Kent is not a short journey. It's
6 hours or something, isn't it?
It's 6-7 hours. That was sold out, and yesterday barely half of that away stand was full.
I feel sorry for every fan who went down there.
No, I agree.
And like you say, I feel like the passion's just draining from every single Sunderland fan at the minute, because it's terrible. It's getting worse and worse and worse.
And fans can only respond to what they see on the pitch.
Exactly.
That's what creates the atmosphere. I didn't get this, well, we should just sing anyway. If the players put the effort in on that pitch, then then the fans sing.
Look at the last home game, right? The atmosphere wasn't the best. It was very quiet. But when we seen players closing down, getting in the faces, we're roaring them on.
The players don't have to do much to get fans on their side.
I know, exactly, but they're not doing the simple thing.
Actually, what do you think for the atmosphere for the next game, for the Blackpool game next week? Because if things don't go well, I'm really worried of how toxic that is going to turn.
I think,
and I don't blame fans for turning.
I think their attendances are just going to drop off now. Just going to drop, because I just think something big drastically needs to happen. We need to go on a massive winning run, or get a new manager in. If you get Phillips in, crowds will come back straight away.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, that one appointment could just change the whole philosophy of the club. Just changed everything. Like, they lift the fans. It'll just change. Well, won't it? If Phillips come in, it'll just be a good positive vibe for change. Just like never be negative.
Right. We went for potential in Ross, didn't work. Yeah. We went for experience in Parkinson, didn't work. Let's go for some new blood who hasn't had
a chance.
I think whatever happens, if you're going to go, if we sense ambition from the board with who they appoint, because let's be honest, realistically, are we going to get rid of Parkinson? I don't think we will.
Nah, I don't think we will.
But in the event we did, and I think we should, but in the event we did, if you appointed someone who's not necessarily big name, someone who's at least known partially to the fans and reeks of ambition of wanting to go places, it makes a difference. It will make a difference if we did it. But I don't know. Should we just get Simon Grayson back?
So yeah,
Simon Grayson comes back next week.
Just to clarify, I'm not getting at the fans for not singing. I agree with them because I've been there and I haven't sung because what I'm watching is terrible, and the players don't deserve them players on the pitch at the minute don't deserve the fans that will go to watch them at all.
And to be honest, Sunderland fans over the last few years have been too patient.
No,
we've accepted crap.
It's just before anyone gives us any stick.
No, it's not. You're right. I mean, and the day them players, they're supposed to be giving 100% on that pitch, and they're not. And it's us the supporters watching it and just like, well, why should we? And I'm supposed to try and get behind your team, but this has been going on for years now.
Right, my man of the match yesterday, I'm going to give it to John McLaughlin because the goal wasn't his fault, and apart from that, he didn't let any of the goals in. And also, I've recently made a video about Kevin Phillips, how he should be the manager. And I actually interviewed Kevin Phillips, and it's on my video. So there we have it. Now we'll move on to Charlie Methven. Does anybody know the real reason why he's left? Why is he stepping back? He says he's stepping back because he's just recently getting married and his wife's pregnant and he wants to spend more time with his family. And his other business, because he's a Tory, and a lot of his people in his other businesses to do with the government, the new government being formed shortly.
Excuses.
But this is the reason why he's left. This is the reason why he's saying he's leaving. But is he jumping? Is he jumping because he's being pushed, or is he just jumping because he can't do a good job?
Excuses.
He's jumping the ship before it sinks. That's what he's doing. He's saying see what's going to happen. He's getting out.
It's excuses. I'm not being funny. You're a businessman. You're practically self-employed. You can take many days off as you want. You've got Stuart Donald running the club. You've got everyone buying the background. For me, it's an excuse. I think he's had a fallout with Donald because, let's be fair, the communication between them has been lacking. One of them says it's a takeover, one says it's just investment. So for me, I just think they're just not getting along. He's just went, right, I'm going to take it back. You just get on with it because you're the biggest shareholder. Says you get on with it. Do what you want. Get one story back. That's why why all of a sudden he's coming back when Charlie goes.
One story.
I did it once to Tory. Sorry.
It was even in the summer. There was rumours that Methven and Donald had a big falling out over obviously Donald sticking with Ross and Methven didn't want to stick.
For all we know, one of them wanted Parkinson, one of them didn't. And now, maybe it was Donald who wanted him, because now he's going, look at the mess you've got in. You get out of it, I'm going. I'm going to see my family, simple as that. But something's not right, because you don't have to come out and say, oh, I'm going to have family time. If he just disappeared in the background, no one would have knew anyway. It's the fact he said it. So, for me, I think he's had a falling out. And that's why once the Tory...
It's the Tory?
Whatever you call it.
Sartori.
Jackanory. That's why he's coming back, because
there was rumours that he's overstepped the mark and was slagging off the fans, is that right?
He's done that. He's done that.
Should never slag the fans off. Never slag the fans off.
Playoff fan, he says, I never heard the Sunderland fans.
Aye, because did he not say what we're watching? The giveaway go and we still got bit.
Exactly, aye. That's what I'm saying, but he should just keep his mouth shut, really. Like.
Yeah, he should. Never criticise the fans, because fans won't make clubs.
If it's justifiable, but you've got to think we were down there 6 weeks prior, and the Trade took 45,000 down, and then he was whinging about us not selling our allocation in the playoff final. So
people can't afford it.
If
you want the fans to get down, the money what the club make, buy the tickets for them.
Oh, yeah.
Charlie's an Eton boy. He has plenty of cash. He doesn't know about us being all like skint all the time. Michael, what's your thoughts on Charlie Methven?
I think he's stepping down because he's a parasite. Right, I was actually sarcastic on just a reference to his quote earlier. I think that, to an extent, I think there would be an element of truth of him wanting to spend more time with his wife and child. To me, that isn't an excuse. I do think, however, there was a lot of times. I personally liked Methven a lot. I think a lot of what he said. I think there was a lot of accurate things in what he said. There were times though when his mouth were a few steps ahead of his brain. Though I think he could have he could have learned to rein it in slightly. I mean, in regards to the whole slagging off the fans thing, there are times when he said things against the fans that could have been, even if it wasn't intended, would have been interpreted the wrong way. He should have thought through what he said. Yeah. But there have been loads of times I've seen in constant publications where he's praised the fans. So, look, if he goes, well, good on him if he's having a kid, but probably in that sense a change probably is needed. There'll be some people relieved that he's gone.
Let's face it, I believe Charlie. I think he's leaving because he's starting a new family and he wants to be with his wife. And no, Charlie, I wish you all the best for the future, but I will seriously be having a Charlie Methven stepping down party. Thank you very much.
Are we invited, like?
I just did it by myself because I'm a lonely person.
But if you want to spend time with your family, you can do it anyway. You don't have to announce it. Oxford, you don't have to announce it.
That is true. But when you're having a kid, though, it does. The first few years, it takes up a lot of your time.
Right, we'll quickly move on because we're running short of time. Michael, we're going to go on to Blackpool next week. Score predictions, please.
2-0 Blackpool.
Dean.
1-0 Blackpool.
Jesus Christ, that way, man.
Sean.
2-0 to Sunderland.
Fuck. Who was scoring goals?
2 Blackpool own goals. Just putting it out there.
I tell you what, if we get beat next week, it's going to be.
Blackpool are flying, you know. If just be 3-1.
How many times have we gone about it? If we're going to beat Blackpool, we'll have to keep a clean sheet, and we're not going to keep a clean sheet. So
we can't score a goal. If you can't score against Gillingham, how are you going to score against Blackpool?
I mean. Your best chance to keep a clean sheet, then you'll need 1 goal to win.
I think we're going to go 4-4-2. I'm going to go for 2-1 victory, and I think we'll turn it around. Phil, what's your score prediction?
2-1 Sunderland.
2-1 Sunderland. There we go.
Up by Easter.
Hang on. No, he's absolutely right. We're up to 7th in the league by Easter. We're up to 8th or 9th.
Up by Easter, top half of the table. There we go. Positive thinking. Right, thanks everybody on the panel for being here today. Thanks for watching the Sunday Bunch. Please subscribe to the channel. Please give the channel video a like. And again, thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below on what you think. Phil Parkinson should stay or should Phil Parkinson go?
Should he stay or should he go?
One last thing. Thanks to Mix and Magic. I know this isn't live, but thanks Mix and Magic for
Thank you very much for mine. I got mine. Thank you very much.
Very, very, very good.
Top man.
Top look, as are the lot of yous.